The purpose of this panel's talk tonight is a discussion to reflect on changes that are taking place in the IT enterprise around cloud, X as a service, mobility, big data, and social technologies, and how these technologies and these changes are affecting our pace of adoption. So how the big buzzwords are affecting our adoption of those buzzwords in the world today is really what it's about. And so, it seems like we as an IT industry have been talking about these topics forever. And so I'll start, Judith, and ask you, what do you recognize as new, and how is this helping Verizon adopt these technologies?
I think in the larger umbrella that I would put over all of it, as we see it at Verizon, is that the customer engagement model has just changed dramatically. Everything about the way our customers expect us to interact with them, they're empowered, they're informed, they're connected, and so on. And there's a level of expectation that these technologies, on the one hand, allowed our customers to get to that place, and that we have to meet and match. So I think about it in a couple of different ways. In the last couple of years, we've focused on the insights we could get from reading social media about our customers, and now the challenge is to really be in a sort of a fully immersed experience with our customers. Knowing as much as they know. In the channels, we've gone through the transformation, like a lot of companies have, of trying to get all of our channels aligned. So whether customers call us or email us or go online, getting all of that connected. But now it's really about understanding the journey that the customers take between our channels and letting them create a service framework that they want to interact with us, rather than us setting up the framework and them coming to meet us where they want. The mobility question has always been, mobile first and apps and so on, and our customers getting mobilized. And we've got to turn that into, first of all, our employees getting mobilized, getting our folks in the stores out from behind the counters and our supervisors out from their offices and so on, but also to engage with the customers contextually. Where they are they near our stores, what are they doing at the time, and so on. So that's been a challenge. And the last, of course, is on big data. This is really all about transparency. Our customers have access to as much data as we do. And so the question is, how do we create a level of transparency and not only share data with them, but actually take advantage of the data that they have. They often know more than the folks in our call centers. And so how do we empower ourselves and empower them with that data transparency? So these things have been around for a few years, but the way we see it is it's all focused on having a completely different engagement model with our customers and meeting that challenge.
Thank you very much. So Doug, anything that you would recognize as new? And how is that helping you adopt these new technologies?
Sure. So all of us are impacted by healthcare, and for those of you who aren't familiar with McKesson, we are a large healthcare organization that plays in almost every aspect of healthcare. And healthcare impacts all of us. One out of every $4 or $5 of GDP goes to healthcare costs today. Part of our mission as a company is to actually improve the health of the healthcare system. And many of you know that the healthcare system is undergoing serious pressures from both a cost perspective as well as a regulatory perspective. So our customers, our providers, our pharmacists, patients are all impacted by these challenges as well. At the same time, they all have expectations of us as a company and how we are going to interact with them. So much like Judith, it's a different world out there. It's a democratization of IT, and there are expectations placed upon us that a nearly 200-year-old company isn't necessarily comfortable or agile enough to react to quickly. So I see a lot of new things out there that are evolutions in the capabilities of the technology to help us actually serve and perform this role that we're being called to perform. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but some of them, like data virtualization. For a company like McKesson, with data assets and dark data across so many different business units, without the technology like data virtualization, there would be no economically feasible way to actually tap into those resources and share those resources across all of our businesses to gain insights and derive value for our customers.
Thank you very much. So Melody, I would say that at Google, what most of us think of new is very different than what you probably think of new. So I'd be interested in your input on some new technologies that are helping you with your adoption of, big data and things like that.
Sure. So I'd probably highlight two things. So first of all, I think we're all talking a little bit about mobile here and how much of a presence mobile has in terms of changing the technology landscape, right? Just look at a variety of statistics, but 98% of Americans own a cell phone. 40% of those are smartphones. If you look at the global numbers, that's much higher. And behind all of that, whether it's acknowledged or not, are cloud services. So, thinking about how our users, and specifically my users are engineers in the global engineering community, how they interact and do what they need to do on their mobile device is really causing a lot of rapid iteration around the applications and the tools and the systems that we use. And I don't know that we've internalized how quickly this is happening. I don't know about you, but I remember being on call in the late 90s, and I had a pager, and I would have to go find a payphone. And when is the last time anyone looked for a payphone? I can't find them, right? Like, what happened to them? I know they still exist, but so I think, and that's happened very quickly, and I think it's speeding up, right? So one of the challenges we have is just how we keep up with the rate of change in technology. So everything to me, in terms of looking at mobile and also cloud computing, is very new. And I think one of the things at Google that I have experienced in my time being there is that we build a lot of our own technology, a lot of our own storage systems, a lot of our own scheduling and compute systems, and we're constantly iterating on those. So there's always something new that we're developing. But we are looking, we're constantly looking in the marketplace around how we look at what our users are telling us and how we work with our users to iterate quickly. So I had a call the other day with, customers that were really interested in early adoption of some of the features we're developing and wanted to work with us. And I think that's such a great experience because it's very difficult for us to sit back and look at and hypothesize around what our users going to want. And I think Judith highlighted that a little bit in terms of really trying to work with the user communities and come up with new technology that's going to work for them.
Thank you. So Rehan, Elastica provides cloud security services. So what are you seeing your clients needing from security in the cloud so that they can more quickly get their legacy applications into the cloud?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is that there's a emerging big tension between the line of business. They need to get the job done. So with the consumerization of IT or democratization of IT, they find the tools, whatever works for them, or employees find the tool, kind of in some ways crowdsource using, this ton of SaaS applications to do various, line of business functions. Whereas, of course, IT has this more kind of process-oriented, and they have to, have something that, a whole company can use, and there's going to be a tension. And IT, perhaps, by the structure of it, doesn't have the pace at which, or even the budget, perhaps, where they can satisfy everyone in every line of business in the company. So I think that tension is kind of going to grow. And why the tension is growing? Because IT wants to make sure the risk is under control. They have their own objectives. Of course, they have to make the line of business more productive, but they have more enterprise goals of, controlling the risk and how to manage the risk of the entire enterprise. So the way we are actually trying to see this thing, that one thing that IT wants is to, if these same SaaS applications, which can make employees and line of business more agile and more productive if they were more secure, or if there was a better way to actually figure out which SaaS applications are secure, or how to actually get visibility at the enterprise level to say, yes, it's okay to use Google Drive because I have it in the dashboard which will give me, equal or better security. Okay, let employees use it. So we're trying to basically, in general, what we're seeing is that if there is kind of that tension can be eliminated if you can solve the security problem, and hence basically employees can use these new productivity tools, and IT perhaps can get back in, not on the opposite side of it, but kind of enabler rather than saying, no, I'm not going to let you go use this app. I think that's what we in general, we are seeing in the market that